Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So we just finished the Diablo update for December, and they went over some interesting information that I'd like to recap for you. So instead of forcing you guys to watch the entire, what was it, 3 hours of video? Of course, I did start a little bit early. I figure, hey, let's just recap it all for you guys and talk about it. So first off, they went over the pre-order bonuses, which if you guys are unaware of the pre-order bonuses, they're pretty simple. Things like mounts and additional cosmetics that you can get, especially for other games, as well as the ability to play the game a little bit early in the beta. And also, if you purchase some of the higher versions, you can also play the game a little bit early. But they didn't talk about that at all, so I'm guessing that's something that we're going to have to find out eventually as far as like what day they're actually going to let us play. Depends on how bad the crunch is, right? They also said that the battle pass was $10, so that was another interesting thing. And I'm going to go ahead and play it in the background here so you guys can see the crew. So of course they had Adam Fletcher was there, and Joe Shelly, and I trying to remember the name of the other guy, Joseph Piepora. Piepora. Regarding early access to the game will not launch in Season 1. So basically what they're saying is that you don't have to worry about the early access preventing you from being able to compete in ladder, because ladder Season 1 is not going to start with the launch of the game, just the same way that ladder Season 1 did not start with the launch of Diablo II Resurrected. I'm not sure exactly how long after the launch of the game it will be. They did not say. However, I do know that the ladder seasons, I think, are 3 months. The season journey is pretty much the same as Diablo 3. They went over that, and you gain favor by progressing your battle pass. They did, however, specifically say that the boon parts of the battle pass, like things like increased EXP or maybe increased gold find or whatever it may be, are limited specifically to free players, and there is no way to purchase additional EXP bonuses or increase the speed at which you gain those. Those have to be obtained the correct way. So they said over and over again, not able to actually purchase the boosts. I'm pretty sure that the battle pass and what you can purchase for the battle pass is mostly just the cosmetic stuff. I think there's some other items in there, like maybe even mounts. I don't know, but they're probably just cosmetic mounts as well. The collector's edition box. Now, this was an interesting one. They did show it on stream. However, I feel like it would be better in general if I showed you the pictures of the collector's edition box that I managed to find, which are a lot better quality than holding it up for the camera. So give me just a second here. I'm going to pull those up on stream so that you can see them. So first up is the Diablo art, the Art of Diablo 4 collector's edition book, and it's a very thick book, as they showed on stream, very reminiscent of like like an encyclopedia or something of that nature. Definitely had a lot of interesting artwork in it, and if for no other reason, I was actually considering purchasing a collector's edition just for the book. Here is a peek inside the book at some of the artwork, and as you can see here, clearly quite a few various, helmets and some interesting things like that. Definitely looks cool. This is one of the art prints, and as you can see, we have Inarius, who is chained, basically, in hell. He's stuck there forever. His wings have been hewn. And then we have Lilith, who's holding literally the skull of Diablo. And speaking of the skull of Diablo, we also had an appearance by the singer from the event, who is also holding the skull of Diablo, which I thought was really cool. And that would actually make a pretty good wallpaper. So if you guys want to actually capture that, let me go back just a little bit. If you guys want to actually capture that and turn that into a wallpaper, that'd be a pretty sexy wallpaper, right? Looks like it would fit on a cell phone pretty good, too. Then we have a second print, which seems to be of the Burning Hells itself, and we've got like a Pit Lord and a Fallen and some other various creatures. Looks like one of the Shank-type monsters in the back there, and flying demons and so forth and so on. Pretty cool looking photo. Then we come to the candle. So the candle is apparently electronic. It's an electronic candle, not a real candle. It does have two sides to the candle, so don't be confused. It doesn't actually come, the collector's box doesn't come with two candles. It comes with one candle, but they show the candle twice. And the reason why they show the candle twice is because on one side is Inarius, and the other side is Lilith. I believe this side is Lilith. There you go. And apparently the candle comes in a really fancy box also. Although I'll let you take a look at Lilith here for a second before I pull up the candle packaging. And this is the package that apparently the candle comes in. It's a very interesting box. On the right-hand side of the box is the symbol for the Cathedral of Light, which is the company, the organization that Inarius creates, of which he's basically the god. He's the prophet. And then there, of course, we also have Lilith on the cover. I'm assuming that on the other side is probably Lilith's symbol, and then on the back side is most likely Inarius. That's what I would guess. Then we also have a very beautiful cloth map, and I'm going to have to zoom in on this and give you guys a good look at it. Before I zoom in all the way, though, let me just get it sort of like centered here so that you guys can see it in its entirety. And then what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on some of the detail. When I watched them handle the cloth map, it was definitely a very thick, very, like luxurious kind of a fabric, not like one of those little cheapy deals, which I've seen come with collector's editions in the past. It definitely felt like it had some girth to it, I guess is what I'm saying. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the map and look at the details. So let me bring myself off. Bink. So as you can see here, we've got Diablo's skull right here in the foreground, like in the middle, and he's chained for some reason. On the right-hand side, we have a demon. On the left-hand side, we've got a demoness, a succubus, and her boobies are hanging out. The map is very reminiscent of a lot of like old style maps with like the monsters in the water, so to speak, like the snakes out there that are trying to take your ship. Down here at the bottom, it clearly says Sanctuary, although in a little bit of a fancy font. And then as you go up, you've got some other interesting things like a demon over here on the left hand side and a knight on the right, like piles of skulls. And a very interesting thing that was stated during the interview was, or I guess not interview, update, was that this is essentially the whole map for Diablo 4. So this is where we are going to be able to go. This is what we are going to be able to explore. And as you can see, you can clearly see Fractured Peaks there. Apparently that was the zone that the beta preview was allowed to explore. We also have Skolsglen. I can't even pronounce it. It's ScoSglen. Skolsglen. And then we also have Chaldeum down here. A bunch of interesting little areas and zones. It's interesting also that they incorporated the health globe and the mana globe on the left and right. On the left side seems to be either Deckard Cain or the new Deckard Cain, the person that they took to make his place. And then on the right-hand side, maybe that could be Adria's daughter or Cain's daughter, or not really quite sure. And then at the top is definitely an angel. And then above the angel seems to be Lilith. And on the left-hand side, we have a demon. And on the right-hand side, we have an angel with little like rivers of blood pouring into the water. It's a very pretty map, and it's definitely something I'd like to have on my wall. I may have to splurge and get myself the map. We also have another item, I believe. Let's see here. This is the external packaging for it. Transform. Bink. So that's what it looks like in the package, and that also has some very interesting packages here. I've noticed that when I zoomed in on this, the left side seems to be Inarius, and the right side seems to be Lilith, and some more boobage in there. There is also a Horadric pin, which is included in the package. The Horadrim, this is the symbol of the Horadrim, if you guys are unaware. And then finally, there is a mouse pad, I believe, included with the pack as well. And the box is $96.66, so basically $100. They did that on purpose so they could do the 666. They sacrificed $4.44 or $3.44 to get the 666 number in there. They viewed the Game Awards trailer a couple times, and they like talked about it over and over again, and they also talked about the relationship between Lilith and Inarius, and how we were expected during Diablo 4 to explore the relationship between them again. So we're going to learn more about the relationship between Inarius and Lilith, which sounds like fun. They also went over the Codex of Power. Now, the Codex of Power was basically a legendary system that would kind of like allow lower level players to participate in the legendary system without having to find the legendary items. So basically what it is it allows you to use a lower level version of the same legendary power that you can find later for free, basically, as long as you complete the necessary steps to activate that codex. And there was 110, I believe, codex entries when we were looking at the codex. In fact, I can fast forward a little bit and show you guys the codex. Give me just a second. All right, and this is the codex right here. And as you can see, there's 115 entries in the codex. Pretty large number of entries. And I was able to actually go frame by frame and actually unlock each one of these codexes that were shown in the video. So if you guys will bear with me for just a minute, I'll show you each one and read them off to you. So the first one they show is the Aspect of Might. Basic skills grant 25% damage reduction for 4 seconds upon completing the Dark Ravine in Dry Steppes. The second one that we were able to see was the Aspect of Disobedience, which was you gain 0.25% increased armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, stacking up to 25%, unlockable by completing the Halls of the Damned in Kyrgyzstan. Prodigy's Aspect, casting an ultimate restores 80 mana, unlocked by completing the Witch Water in Hawazar. Aspect of the Changeling's Debt. Werebear skills restore 1 spirit when you hit enemies afflicted by your poisons. When spirit is restored, your poison effects are removed from the enemy. Skinwalker's Aspect. When you use a shapeshifting skill that changes your form, gain 54 life. If you are at full life, gain the same amount as a Fortify. Unlocked by completing Fading Echo in Kyrgyzstan. I'm assuming Fortify is probably some type of bubble. Aspect of Overwhelming Bolts, which is actually the one that they were trying to show us. This one is charged bolts gain 2 extra projectiles, but its mana cost is increased by 5%. Unlocked by completing the Wretched Delve in Skosklin. Skosklin, that's the name of it, as you can see right there. Then later on, we were able to see a special menu. This was the imprint menu. This is how you imprint an item with a legendary aspect. And essentially, I was able to discern several skills from this particular part of the video. We have the Aspect of Control, which was the first one. You deal 30% more damage to immobilized, stunned, or frozen enemies. Undiscovered, and that one apparently is in Kyrgyzstan. Then we have the Aspect of the Ursine Horror. Pulverize, now also an Earth skill. After casting Pulverize, Tectonic Spikes continue to deal 378 damage over 2 seconds. Unlocked by completing the Belfry Zakara in Hawazar. We have the Windstriker's Aspect, which is after swapping weapons 6 times, gain 20% increased attack speed for 4 seconds. Also, the Aspect of Retribution. Distant enemies have a 15% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds. When they hit you, you deal 30% increased damage to stunned enemies. Unlocked by completing the Abandoned Mineworks in Kyrgyzstan. And then finally, we were able to find one more. Oh, Cody found something. We were able to find one more, which was the one that was on the staff itself. And that is the Glorious Staff of Abundant Energy, but this one had a legendary power on it, and it was the Crackling Energy. Has a 46% chance to gain and a chance to chain to an additional enemy, sorcerer only. So as you can see, there are quite a large number of aspects within the game, and of course you can imprint those on the items. There was also a rather mysterious little modifier, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm going to zoom in on it for real quick for you just to kind of exemplify it. So right here on several of the items is this little chain symbol, and I don't know what this little chain symbol means. It's not on all the items. In fact, as you can see on the staff, it is not on the staff. And after the staff was imprinted, it is not placed onto the staff. Also, the ring and the amulet do not have it. And this seems to be a socket that is empty. So as you can see on this one also has 2 empty sockets here and here. But we also have this strange chain symbol, and I'm not quite sure what that symbol actually means. Now, we have been told that this codex here is actually character-wide. So all of these individual skills and everything that you're able to unlock by doing quests and things like that will be available to all of your characters. So as you level up one character and you unlock a really awesome barbarian aspect with your codex, you can then log into your barbarian and utilize that codex to your advantage, which is also pretty cool. I like when you can unlock things for the account. It does make things rather interesting as far as like, leveling up alternative characters. Probably going to have a lot of characters in Diablo 4, let's be honest. Dungeons. They said there's going to be over 120 dungeons. That was part of the conference. And pretty darn ridiculous, if you ask me. That's a lot of freaking dungeons. And apparently the dungeons are randomly generated, too. So apparently it's going to be different every single time you do the dungeon, which is certainly interesting. They also went over a very big change for Diablo 4, which was allowing legendary powers to roll on different item slots, giving players more opportunity to decide where they want to place the powers to make the maximum use of them. Codex Aspects, as I talked, I can't remember if I did talk about it actually, but I'll talk about it right now. Codex Aspects always roll as the lowest possible percentage or effect as in respect to the legendary effect. So if you have a 50% to 10% roll on a legendary effect, the codex will always be the 10%, not the 50. Unless 10% is the good side, and if 10% is the good side, then it's the 50 instead of the 10. It's always going to be the minimum codex. So you're still going to want to find an actual legendary item with the actual effect on it, because that's going to give you the better, alternative. They also went through a question and answer section, and the question and answer section was toward the end of the stream. The first question on the list was, I can't remember exactly, actually. Now, let me fast forward to it, shall I? So the first question was, what learnings did you apply from other Diablo games to Diablo 4? And they talked about wanting to capture the essence of Diablo 4 with Diablo 2. So the point of them talking about Diablo 2 was to talk about the skill system and the way that the characters unfold and the deep nuance to building those characters. They wanted Diablo 4 to have the same kind of character building aspect and kind of like love and attention toward the characters as they develop that Diablo 2 did. I think they pretty much admitted that Diablo 3's character development was pretty garbage, and Diablo 2's is far superior. And I would agree. The theory crafting and the fun of building characters in Diablo 2 is, I think, honestly what makes Diablo 2 the best game out of all of them so far. So if they can somehow capture that aspect of Diablo 2 and add it into Diablo 4, then more power to them. They also talked about the fluidity of the combat in Diablo 3, and they've talked about this a couple times, and they say it over and over again. Like, when they talk about Diablo 3, they don't say Diablo 3 had a good art style. They don't say Diablo 3 had a good skill system. They don't say Diablo 3 had a good loot system. All they can really say nice about Diablo 3 is that Diablo 3's combat was good. And, it was all right. I do like Diablo 2's combat. And if I was forced to choose between the two, I think I might still choose Diablo 2's combat system over Diablo 3's anyway. But they definitely are focusing on trying to reproduce the combat of Diablo 3, but the skill and character development of Diablo 2, which is very interesting. And of course, they also captured the dark gothic tones of Diablo 1, which I really, really love. The next question was about the Battle Pass. It was how does the Battle Pass work and how long does it go for? And this one was pretty simple. Apparently, seasons are active for 3 months. Players will have plenty of time to earn progress throughout the season, and it takes about 75 hours of play to progress through the Battle Pass. And they said multiple times that none of the XP boosts and things like that will be purchasable through the Battle Pass. You have to earn them. Next was when does season 1 start? And they did not have an answer for that, so there's no really reason to go over it. It just said that game will launch in pre-season mode, so we're not going to see season 1 toward the beginning of the game. The next question was if I purchase the game on multiple platforms. If I purchase the game on multiple platforms, will I have to play it on? Will I have to pay for every single platform that I want to play the game on? So, like, if I have a PC, an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a Nintendo Switch, I don't even know if it's going to be on Nintendo Switch, but do I have to pay for every single one? And it was basically yes, you do have to pay for every single one, but there will be cross progression on and cross-platform play on all of them, so you'll be able to play on every console with everybody, essentially, which is pretty cool. The next question was my personal favorite, and it is them talking about will any familiar Diablo items be returning to Diablo 4? And I am excited to announce that the answer is freaking yes. So they are going to be adding unique items from Diablo 2 into Diablo 4. They will be adding the Shaco, the Harlequin Crest Shaco, the Wind Force, the Grandfather, Mage Fists, and these were just the examples that they gave us. They have talked about the fact that these unique items will be pretty rare. I've gotten some estimates of anywhere between like 1 to 3 unique items per season, which sounds pretty rare to me. But who knows? Maybe if you really grind your butt off, you'll find a lot more than that. And I'm assuming there's magic find involved too. So maybe if you pop on enough MF gear, do enough dungeon runs, you'll get more items than that. I don't know. But what was really exciting to me was a quote by Joseph. Let me see if I can pull that up for you directly.
There's Shaco's coming back, Wind Force is coming back, Grandfather's coming back. There's like Mage Fist is coming back.
And these are unique items.
So,
right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so the that's a really good call out. So there are legendary items we talked a little bit before. That have like really particular powers, and then there are unique items that are much more powerful than legendary items are. Now, legendary powers can show up on any slot. Unique items come with like a pretty fixed loadout of like types of affixes that could appear in that thing, and then what the special power is tied to the unique item on its own. And they're really they're difficult to find. They're really rare. They're fun chase items, and you can really build exciting builds around some of these things. But we've taken a lot of the ideas from these items from previous games, kind of reinterpreted them to make sure they work with Diablo 4, but tried to retain that thematic essence to them. Like, it's been an exciting challenge for the team to kind of go after and try to bring in. So yeah, we have a ton.
We have a ton. Now, what the part that really stood out to me was when he said, and you can build characters around them. That is what I freaking love. I love building characters around items. If you guys haven't seen my video, I have a video up. It is literally my process on building a character. And I'm not going to go over that video right now, so if you want to watch that, you got to go watch it. But one of the things that I go over in the video is literally that I like to build characters around items. And he literally as much said that these new unique items, these copies of old unique items that are going to be added to Diablo 4, and he only gave us a short list, but then he was like, there's a ton of them. Like, there's literally, he's like, there's hundreds. Like, you're going to, who knows how many there are. Maybe he's added everything from freaking Arcane's Valor to freaking Crown of Ages. But you can build characters around them, which is freaking amazing. The next question was kind of like a weird one. It was just like what your favorite class is. The guy on the right said it was the Rogue, Joe, and Joseph said it was the Barbarian. Favorite enemy, Joe said the Bloodcasters, and Joseph said the Drowned, which is the kind of like the drowned zombies. And then they've asked a final question, which was a fun fact I learned developing Diablo 4. And Joseph said it was important while we are allowing players to make a lot of choices when they are making an interesting character for themselves that we unveil that slowly initially, otherwise we can get people scared about making choices and they clam up. And this is something that Path of Exile is guilty of. They put way too many choices in the face of a character and they clam up really fast. In fact, a lot of people will literally take one look at that board in Path of Exile and just quit right away. Joe said trouble with left-clicking skills containing the ability to explore the skill tree. So we added a basic attack so you start with, so you can choose which spec you want to start with. Then they were asked Team Inarius or Team Lilith, and Joseph on the left said Lilith, and Joe on the right said Inarius. So rather interesting. That's pretty much it, and I think we've gone over just about everything. I know this went for 25 minutes, but it was, you know, like an hour and a half conference that I just compressed down into 25 minutes for you. There's also a lot of cool stuff in the background as a bonus. I'm not sure if you guys can see it all, but there is a Horadric cube down on the bottom right. That skateboard is from Diablo Immortal. I know that is the USB battery pack Diablo skull, and then there's the big Diablo skull up on the top of the counter. In the center of the frame is the Lilith statue, which you can purchase on the gear store, the Blizzard Gear Score. I think it's like $600. I'm not sure if the Bale statue is purchasable, but I do like to put my head over there so that it looks like I am the Bale statue. I am the Bale statue, that's right. And their table's really cool too. I bet you that's some type of Blizzard object. And even their backdrop is pretty cool. I'm not sure what that one item is right there. I'm not sure what that is. It's kind of covered up and it's kind of hard to see. And I never did figure out what that is either. It's a little weird. I don't know what that is. If you guys know what that is, or you know what that is, or you know what that is, which I can't really see completely, be sure to let me know, because I'm interested. I'll look it up. As always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.